Well, good morning, everybody. We are just now leaving the Madison hut, which is right there, and climbing Mount Madison, which is somewhere up there. A lot of people doing it this morning. And in the distance, you can see Mount Washington, which is perfect today, but it was far different yesterday. It's a shame. I feel bad not going up there, not having the opportunity really to go up there. Could have gone, but it would there certainly would have been no views, but high winds, clouds, didn't make much sense to make that climb. So we'll save that for another day. That's the way it goes around here. Just like that, the weather changes, and we've got an absolutely perfect day today. I don't think there's any rain in the forecast at all for today. They are talking about some for tomorrow, but these forecasts for the next day stuff I don't really listen to be honest with you, because I was told a day in advance that Mount Washington would be like this, and that obviously did not happen. Things can change pretty quickly around here, so we're going to depend on what we got for today. Right now we're going to do a lot of climbing. We'll talk about the plans when we get to the top. All right, everybody, we are closing in on our largest climb today, which is the top of Mount Madison. See where the people have congregated up there. That's where I'll be in a few minutes. And again, you can see Mount Washington in the distance. And this is Mount Adams. The Appalachian Trail does not cross Mount Adams. Making good progress. Can't wait to take this jacket off though, it's getting warm. Lots of people up here. What views, huh? See this line of cairns right there, there, all the way out through there. We start heading down. That's my path, I believe, that I'll be taking to get off this mountain and move on. So, time to press on. I'd like to hang out here for a while, but we've got miles to make. So this is our downhill off of Madison. That's down. That's level. So it's just slow, you know, you got to be very careful. Pick and choose your steps, and it just takes time, you know. You don't want to make a misstep here for sure. It'll make a mark. That's what I'm saying. All right, we'll get after it. Well, good morning again for everybody. We're heading down still from Mount Madison, believe it or not. It's just we've gotten below the tree line, and It is a long way down. I think probably it's over 2 miles, maybe not quite 3, of downhill, which downhill's good. Downhill's better than uphill. It's just almost as equally as slow, unless you're a lot more nimble than I am, and a lot of people are, bouncing from rock to rock. But I can't afford a mistake, so I'm a little bit slower than most, maybe, or at least I'm probably average, to be honest with you. I haven't really talked about the plan today. The plan is to go to the Carter Notch hut, which for today will be 9.1 miles. Typically it could be longer, and I'll explain that, but this will be my final stop in a hut before going back into typical real world kind of stuff where you've got shelters and tents and all that stuff. I'm not going to be out of the wilderness yet because there's still a lot more rough stuff ahead of me. I think let's see, today the 9p, then okay, so I think it's about 2.5 more days before I get to a place where I can actually wash clothes, which haven't been washed. I'm trying to gross you out in about 8 or 9 days. Now, I have done some washing in sinks and drying that way and stuff, but so I'm not completely gross, but pretty close to gross. The reason it's going to take 9.1 miles today, it could be longer, should have been longer, is that there's a bridge out down here, and the Appalachian Trail Conservancy has strongly advised not taking that bridge. The bridge still stands, and there are people I know that are crossing that bridge, but they even say that the bridge looks kind of janky. And the ATC strongly recommends, that's their words in bold letters, taking a bypass which they've created to get around that bridge, because it's simply been deemed unsafe for crossing. And it's not a small little footbridge, it's 5 foot long. It has some span to it. You wouldn't want to be the one on that bridge when it goes down. But anyway, that bridge has essentially been condemned, and the right thing to do would be to follow the direction and go around it on the bypass. So the bypass does make today's trip a little bit shorter. Again, I think it's 9.1 miles in total that I'm doing. And you probably wouldn't even notice. I'll still be on a trail, but not the traditional Appalachian Trail. And there is a road walk, I think, of about 1/4 mile, and then you have to climb about 3 miles up on a trail that takes you up to that next hut. And so that's our plan for today. So we're just slowly making progress. I'm definitely not on fire here, so I'm trying to make it in by supper time today if I possibly can. And we're doing okay. So it's a beautiful day. It's not at all hot. It's just a very comfortable day. So I love that. So we're going to keep on pressing on, and we'll see you when we get to the bottom. Have a great day. All right, everybody, we're still on the detour trail. And I believe this bridge, my guess, and I haven't been across the one that's been closed down, could likely be similar to the bridge that was closed down. And you can tell quickly that this is not your average little small creek that you're crossing over. This is a pretty significant ravine that you'd have to traverse if you didn't have a bridge. And course, this is the suspension bridge, and it's already wobbly, right? Because it's a suspension bridge. I don't think I'd want to cross something similar that had been deemed as unsafe. So anyway, it's a Saturday right after the holiday. It's currently Saturday, July 5th. A lot of people out here enjoying their day, and that's awesome. And I'm enjoying my day too. It's been kind of nice, you know. Once I got off the Mount Madison and that huge downhill of rocks, this trail has been what I would consider a kind of a normal trail. So it's cool. All right, we're gonna keep on pressing on. We'll catch up with you further down the path. All right, everybody, we've finished our little road walk. Got up to the parking lot, and that's what we got left. 3.8 miles to the Carter Notch Hut. So let's get to it. I'm sure this trail is going to get, it's going to have to go uphill. All right, here we go. Because we came so far downhill, knowing where the hut itself is positioned, it's going to absolutely require some climbing. So 3.8 miles, let's get to it. Catch up with you up the trail. The water. Look how rugged. We got about 2.5 more miles to our destination. We're making pretty good time. It's been a nice gradual uphill, actually. Someone had told me that this trail, which is called the 19-mile trail, is the trail that the young people use that work the hut. This is the trail that they use to carry the food up. So they get food, I guess once a week from the parking lot, and then each one of them with those big old racks on their back carry 60 or 70 pounds of food up this mountain. So I've seen worse trails for them to use, for sure, but it's still massive work for them. They're all in great shape, you know, real solid looking in terms of their legs and their fitness, and I'm sure that they, you know, make pretty quick work of this 3.8 miles up from the parking lot. But it's interesting that component of their work requires really a unique person that's willing to carry that load once a week or so. But anyway, making good progress. We'll catch up with you as we get further up the path. All right, everybody. We have made it almost. I mean, I'm within a 1/10 of a mile to the Carter Notch hut. Really close. And this pond sits right out front of the hut itself. Isn't that something? It's beautiful. Looks like you're in the Alps or something. Beautiful mountains. All right, let's get to the hut. All right, everybody, we have made it to Carter Notch hut. This is actually the bunkhouse, one of the bunkhouses the one that I'm staying in. I'm staying here in this bunkhouse. Actually, to the end of where that last window is where my bunk is. What a view I got right out the front here, huh? So the hut itself, the main hut itself, is there at the bottom, and then there's yet another bunk house up on the hill. So it's really quiet compared to some of the other ones I've seen. This is smaller, probably a lot less popular. It's not necessarily close to some of the more popular places like Mount Washington or something, as an example. So it's way quieter, which is kind of nice. Not a lot of people. Don't have all the traffic and the yelling and the running and all that sort of stuff. Just a real peaceful place to be. Nice peaceful experience to end on for my hut experiences, for sure. So it's been really nice, and but some of them have been kind of loud and you know, a little bit more trafficky than I anticipated. This one, again, pretty small, kind of quiet. Pretty cool. So this is the front of the hut. It's kind of hard to see because there's so much growth here in terms of trees and stuff, but older hut. Looks like it was built in 1914. And certainly a lot smaller than Madison that we were at yesterday. But nestled into the mountains for sure. Look at that, all the way around. Pretty cool. So again, today was a little lighter day versus the day prior, but it was I think it ended up being 9.1 miles today. Unfortunately, we did have to take a bit of a bypass, but that's the bypass that was recommended by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy because the bridge was out, and probably made it a little bit easier. Yep, I'll take it for sure. But certainly made it a bit safer because I don't want to walk across a bridge that's literally been condemned. But overall, it's a very good day. So we're making good progress. We haven't exited the Whites yet, but we're moving towards that. That's for sure. Again, this is the last hut in the hut system, and tomorrow I will be heading out of here and actually going right back into like a shelter, and which is going to be a little different. I won't have dinner waiting on me, that's for sure. So be taking care of myself again. At least they do have running water here. No showers again, no washing machines or anything like that. But we do have something to look forward to, in that another day or day after tomorrow we'll be back into a town and going into a hostel kind of scenario, and it'll be kind of interesting to go back and after doing this for over a week, to have all the luxuries of grocery stores and showers and washing machines and all that sort of stuff ahead of me. So I kind of look forward to that. So I hope everybody's had a great day, and we'll look forward to catching up with you first thing in the morning.